All right, it is time to go around the Mesa one more time. It is brought to you by MRC. Very excited for today's conversation. We're going to talk with the water polo coach from San Diego State. She is Coach Karen Crawford, and she joins us right now. Coach, we got to get a little bit of a catch up on what all the players have been doing these last couple weeks, last couple of months. I know no season has been going on, but it sounds like your players have stayed very active.
We've tried to stay as active as we can, Jordan. As you know, water polo is played in a swimming pool, and out of our primary element, we've been doing what we can in what we call dry land, and that's everything from some dry land workouts to trying to get used to new space and new educational modes. And, you know, school is kind of at crunch time right now, but I think I'm most proud of some of my athletes who have decided to do what they can to help in the situation with the global pandemic. And they are out there working in grocery stores, sewing masks, doing what they can to make a difference as they can and in their new reality. So latest was my current sophomore, Delaney Bennett, who was featured on our Aztec Heroes spot, and she is working at Vaughn's stocking groceries. So we're doing what we can.
Yeah, Coach, it's been a learning experience for all of us. It's a learning experience for the athletes, for the coaches. What have you been able to learn about yourself as a coach and about your team these last couple of weeks?
Well, I think it's really been a soul-searching experience, because when your identity is so much around playing sports, being around sports, thinking about sports, and it's taken away so suddenly, it really is an adjustment to reimagine, you know, your identity, given that a huge piece of it is sort of ripped away. And so obviously you can see my background. I want to be in the water or near the water, or being by the water is my thing. And so so it's been very difficult and very much needing to engage in coaching conversations remotely through Zoom. And there's been some great responses. You know, the water polo community has stepped up big time to provide forums for talking about coaching, analyzing bits of video, and really having an in-depth conversation about all things related to tactics and officials and using video and how to engage our student athletes during this time. So we've tried to keep learning, but for me, the real essence of who I am is being at that pool.
You guys got off to such a fast start in 2020. You were 3-0 in the league. You had very impressive wins on the resume already. How do you as a coach try to carry that momentum, what you were able to build in 2020? How do you carry that to 2021?
Sure. I think we did have good momentum. We got through the tournament stretch of our season, which is really where a lot of the foundation is laid for how we set our power play, how we run our front court. We kind of get an identity as a team with roles being consolidated, and we were playing really well. So we had about probably a little less than half of the season to be played, but obviously the most important half with most of the conference games. And so I think the team was really also believing that we were coming together at the right time. We were well positioned to have a great run into the conference stretch. And so I think the resolve is there to kind of make sure that we finish that unfinished business. And this team really believes that we could have won it all.
Coach, I'm curious, as someone who isn't an expert in the sport by any stretch, what does water polo look like going forward as we try to figure out what sports look like going forward? It's a tough question to answer now. I understand that, but what's going through your mind at a time like this? What does it look like going forward?
Well, I really am also trying to plan for what it might look like in the way of a lot more emphasis on individual conditioning, which isn't really our thing. So when we are preparing to play, it's very much hands on your opponent. It's basically, you and me going at each other, trying to see who can win that battle. And so it's very much in pairs. It's very much matchups, player to player. And so we're going to really work on how we can simulate contact, resistance, the way that you have to shoot around your defense. We're going to have to mimic those types of interactions without a human being in the way. So that's what we're working on. I know the players aren't going to want to hear this, but there will be a lot more just straight swim conditioning, because that's going to be the way to start. Hopefully, distancing guidelines may ease if we get there, and we'll be able to swim on top of each other again and wrestle around with each other again and do the things that water polo players love, which is the contact element of the sport. It's what we thrive on.
Coach, I think that was very well said. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. Best of luck to you, your staff, your team, and getting organized, getting ready for the next season.
Well, thanks so much. I can't wait to get back in the pool, Jordan, and thanks for talking to me.